Hi everyone, this is Dan and the Future Holds Crypto. So this is a very important week. We have a major event happening, and of course this is the 2020 US elections. And actually today is an important day because in theory we should get the results by the end of this day. Probably we won't, but in any case, this event is actually a big influencer on a lot of markets, and including crypto, but especially S&P 500 or stock market in general. Sorry, but yeah, let's take a look a little bit on the prices, and as you can see here, we have a lot of red. There are a lot of red here. There's a lot of red here. Most of them, the altcoins are down. Bitcoin, however, is holding strong, really strong. And this is actually what I would do at this point. I mean, if Bitcoin manages to hold through and maybe even break through, that's the most important thing here. I know that some people don't believe in it, but Bitcoin is actually driving the market, the crypto market. It is the biggest player for the moment, and it is driving the market. And as it did in the past, when it takes the dominance, basically the altcoins fall behind, maybe even bleed a little bit, and when Bitcoin pops, basically the others will follow, but with a delay. So keep that in mind. So at this point, I'm actually only watching Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has done something very interesting. And that is, it's actually even now at $13,800. So that's actually a very big resistance, and it has brushed on it a couple of times already, so it's not backing down. And let's look a little bit on the chart. So we had this weekend, actually, I believe this weekend, if we go on the, let's look on the day, but on the day, Bitcoin went over $14,000. That was on 31st. So it was over $14,000. That's a big step. And actually, it is the first time it reached that price since January 2018. So it's the first time it reached that price since then. And also, let's take a little bit a look on the weekly, because we'll see another thing here. It's also the first week when it reached that price. Of course, if you think about it, it does make sense. And if you look on the monthly, it's actually also the first month. But what's also very interesting is that the body of the candle is the same as December 2017. I mean, it's actually the first time it does this since the bull run. So I think this is significant. I think this is an important step that Bitcoin took in the last couple of days. Let's see in the past, when it last did this, what happened. I mean, for the last bull run on the monthly, it was in 2000. So let's say 2013 was the previous bull run before the one from 2017, and the maximum price was around $1,160. And the candle, the first time the candle body reached was reached on the bull run, it was after how many days? Let's see. But it was around here. So that means 1158 days. So this is the first time it actually reached. This is a very similar situation. So basically, the body of the candle reached the same as the previous peak or all-time high. So it was February 1st, 2017. What happened afterwards? We had a bit a price drop, or a little bit of a price drop, and let's look here. Let's see, basically from here to here, it was a 24% price drops, for almost 25% price drop. So in the next month we also had a drop, but why I'm showing you this is it's basically it is a drop on the monthly, but as you can see, it rolls up quickly afterwards. But we did have volatility, so that's why I'm saying it. We have a 24% drop, a very fast recovery, and stuff like that. So this also comes with volatility, and I'm showing you this because if we repeat something like this, it might be very well happen. We might see volatility as well. So if the price drops quickly, don't worry. From my perspective, I mean, it is very possible, but it should actually recover quite fast if we are in a similar scenario. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you. Basically, the last time in the previous cycle we did something like this, and then we went over. Now it's a little bit weird because we are basically let's see the timing for this. The first so how many days were there? We have this 100 basically 1127 days, and here we have about, but it's not here, it should be around here. It's 1029 days. So basically it happened faster, and it's let's see how this goes. But it is interesting because you know that we have a lot of theories regarding to the cycles themselves. That we have the one that has the bull run around the end of 2021 if it repeats the same cycle, and it's basically related to the halving event. And also there's another one that says that we have basically expanding cycles. So that's you can find this in one of my previous videos, and I actually this is the one, market cycles accumulation phase, smart money. I actually advise for you to take a look here, because if you have no idea about market cycles in general and you are investing in something, you will probably be frustrated if you don't understand some scenarios that you have to consider and plan ahead, not to be covered by too many emotions and take decisions based on those emotions. So yeah, that's something that definitely it's something that deserves a look. So going back here, basically it is happening faster. So if this is the mark of the start of a new bull run, and we continue upward, it happened faster than before, but it doesn't mean anything. Probably it can linger afterwards. But yeah, something interesting to look at. Also, I wanted to show you something here that is very important. We touched about this in the previous video when we were discussing about Bitcoin and the signs of decoupling. you know why I said basically that this is important. Why? Because I mean, look at in when we had the huge crash here in March, or actually in February through March. Basically, it was correlated to the S&P 500 or the stock market in general, because the crash happened there and here. So Bitcoin did not manage to decouple or to be considered a safe asset or something that you can move in times like this to in a safe haven. So basically, Bitcoin dropped as well. So since that point on, as you can see here, this is the correlation coefficient. Basically, you can see here that it was decoupled. It was actually minus, it was the other way around. It was doing something the opposite of what the stock market was doing, with a degree of 80% or 70 something percent. And then it started to be correlated right here. So it started to be correlated, and then it was actually for a long period of time until now, it was more than 80% correlated. So basically, what the stock market did, Bitcoin did, with a correlation of 80%. That's kind of big. So why I'm saying this is important, I mean, it doesn't really necessarily matter if it's correlated in general, because, for example, look here in the bull run, right? So it's and this is on the weekly. If we look on the bull run, we can see that it was very correlated when we had the very abrupt slope here, or the went to the new all-time high. So it was correlated, right? It probably it was the case that both were growing, but not necessarily being very having any relationship one to another. It just happened. But the important thing is, when something like this happens, like the coronavirus or an event that crashes the market, that's the importance to see where, if it's correlated or not. If something crashes the markets and it also crashes Bitcoin, that's when basically you would like to have the opposite or a safe haven. So the last time it happened, it showed that basically we were kind of correlated in situations like this, and we still went to be correlated until the last week, when we basically dropped from 84% to 60%. So that's a big drop in correlation, if you ask me. And we also, if you look on the daily, you will see that since 25th of October, and actually not 25th, but we were 84 on the 18th of October, and then since then we went to zero, and then we went downwards to 78%. So basically to minus 78%. So we're doing the opposite of the market, and that's actually very important here, because you can see, since let's go back to the weekly. If we look here, since September, we had a peak that's almost 40% increase in price in September. So from $9,900 to $13,800. So that's a big increase. And why is this important? Because if we look on the S&P 500, basically in that period of time, S&P dropped. Was dropping to 10%. It recovered a bit, so it's only 5% now, but it did drop almost 11% in that period, and Bitcoin grew 40%. So basically, it did something interesting. It did decouple from, for the moment at least, and it chose to still stay strong. And why I'm considering this very important, because we are actually facing an interesting period. So we have a lot of events that are happening throughout the world, including so let's start and enumerate them. So we have the elections, we have the pandemic, and we also have the stimulus situation. So how does this fit together? So let's go through each of them. So first, the US election. So the worst case scenario for this, and I hope that this doesn't happen, is, for example, the candidates to have a very close number to each other, and basically to say, well, to not accept the very small difference, and call for call for action, from legal action, in terms of they will say probably that it was a fraud or something like that, and they won't accept each other's results. And correct me if I'm wrong, probably other people know better than me. From what I've heard, basically this could drag the process until January. So I'm not sure if that's actually true, or maybe it is possible to have this faster, but it might drag it to January. And if it does drag it to January, we'll be seeing a lot of uncertainty on the markets, and that will probably show in a price drop in the stock markets. We also have another situation. So we have the stimulus. The good news here is that either candidate will actually print money. I mean, they don't have any other opportunity or other plan for this. I don't think they can do something else. So they will have to print money. They will have to give the stimulus bill. The only thing I've seen them to argue about was the sum, or the how much money they want to give with the stimulus. So definitely they will do it. The question is when. So it is possible that, let's say, everything goes well, and after the election they just give it by the end of the year, or in November. That's the good case scenario. I'm not sure how feasible it is. The other scenario is it will be dragged until next year in January or February. If that is the case, we will also see another drop. Probably we'll see another drop in the stock market. So, and by the way, the third one, and actually probably one of the most important one, if you think about it, it's the situation with the pandemic. If you look all around you, and especially in Europe, and I think that also in US already they have curfew or lockdowns in some areas, and especially in Europe, they are starting to have serious lockdowns across all Europe. Italy, Spain, UK, and others are considering as well. So what happened the last time this occurred? So we saw a very huge drop. Basically, it might also be I think it depends on the stimulus in this case. If they're ready to give the stimulus fast and react because they've seen what happened the first time, they have some experience. Let's say they have some experience this turnaround. Maybe they will avoid a big one. But that is a possibility. So that's why I think that we have a lot of scenarios where we can see a very big drop in the market, and not necessarily on the long term. It can, but on the short. I'm saying that on the long term, probably it will be solved with the stimulus, right? As it was the first time. Well, looking at the consequences of the stimulus and stuff like that, that's another thing that we will actually cover in the next video related to CBDCs and stuff like that. But for the moment, that probably will be solved by the stimulus and the money printer. But on the short term, we might experience another drop in the stock market. So that's why I'm looking actually at the correlation, because this time around, when we didn't have a big drop, we just had a 10% drop in the stock market, in the S&P 500 actually. So it is, during this time, actually, Bitcoin grew 40%. So if we manage to decouple in situations like this, and I think that this time around, people saw this. I mean, they will remember that in a situation like this, Bitcoin actually was growing, and not only was actually keeping the value, and not only keeping the value, but also growing, outgrowing the stock market and probably a lot of other things. They will remember, and the next time maybe they will move their money into Bitcoin. Let's see what happens. But something that I also want to remind you here: this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. This is just my opinion and about what's happening, and basically, you know what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to help everyone, because in terms of trying to see more scenarios, trying to prepare for more types of scenarios, not to make any rash decisions based on emotions, and that's why you shouldn't be only focused on only one possibility, or only one scenario that you actually consider it's going to happen, because deep down it favors yourself. So you have to be patient. I personally will hold. I'm not going to do a lot of I'm not going to do anything in this period. I'm going to hold through, and even if we see big drops and stuff like that. So yeah, also wanted to go a little bit through Trading Center. You know, sometimes we look here as well. So they have some indicators. They change from time to time. Some of them are showing interesting data, and they have followed through for a couple of days. But this is not financial advice. I'm just looking here and, as I said, try to see different indicators and what others are saying. So if we look at Bitcoin, the Bitcoin chart still looks good. It's something similar as last week. On the 1-day chart, it shows that it can go to $15,000 and $15,700. And you can see here the upside prevails as long as $12,400 is support. The alternative scenario is the downside breakout of $12,400 will call for a low of $11,240 and $10,500. So basically, if we keep the resistance be over $12,400, we might be headed for 15,000. On the 30 minutes, it shows 14,000 again. Let's look here. Okay, it's still 13,800. No, it's almost 13,900. That's good. So that's it with Bitcoin. Brace yourselves. If we look at XRP, the 30 minutes chart, it's 24 cents. And if we look at 1-day chart, it changed a lot since last week, where it showed 31 cents. So that's why I'm saying things can change, and not necessarily take this too much into consideration. You know what my philosophy is: to accumulate, hold, and do multiple entries and multiple exits along the way, especially. But it shows that let's see. Our preference. The downside prevails as long as 25 cents is resistance. The alternative scenario, above, if it breaks 25 cents and 25 cents, it can go to 28 and 29 cents. So kind of bearish in XRP. And Ethereum, if you look at Ethereum for the 1-day charts, the preference, or their preference in terms of probability, probably in terms be considering these indicators, it's 30 they target $250. The alternative scenario above, if it breaks 438, it can go to 505 and 545. So they switched to bearish on both XRP and Ethereum. I think that's it for the moment, but yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. You know how I started this video. I started this video saying that my eyes are on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin holds, if Bitcoin breaks this barrier, then we're good. Even if altcoins are bleeding and lagging and bleeding. So as long as Bitcoin holds or even holds and pops, basically we're fine. So my eyes are on Bitcoin for the moment. It did this in the past. It shouldn't be any problem, but the bearish scenario would be if these guys are going down, the alts are going down, and let's say if Bitcoin also goes down when they're already reached the low prices, that will be a little bit bloody. But yeah, keep it in mind. I told you have to be prepared mentally with all types of scenarios. Think that's it for this video. I will be creating another video on CBDCs and some XRP or Ripple news. But yeah, for the moment we're done. Thank you very much for watching, and be strong, hold. By the way, not financial advice. And please hit the like button and subscribe if you like the video. Have a great one, and hang in there.